Greetings and welcome, one and all. It is time for Brony Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Hello.
Last time we made our way into a new world. And this time we are plunging into the depths of, what is it, the first level?
The first layer of hell, and there's 9 of them.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but a whole new world.
No!
Okay.
It was really
Stop.
practiced.
Actually,
Stop.
wait. Since we're going to hell, should that be in a minor key?
No, it should be here on level 1 of Scorcher Hell.
Stop!
Yes.
Stop it! Stop it!
Okay.
Stop it! Stop it!
And I think we should move on, thank you.
Only you.
What, does that still be a musical?
Yeah, but anyways, yes. For those in the know, I am using a module for this. I am using the Fiendish Codex of Tyrants of the Nine Hells to direct our little adventure. And I'm trusting I wrote that information so that you don't look up spoilers.
I never even heard of this
I
model,
don't
so.
know what the heck you just said.
Yeah, what?
I basically got this little book that it's basically like an expansion pack for a video game. So,
He got the DLC.
yeah, so yes, I have
Pretty much.
Yeah, I have DLC of the Devils. So, and yes, I got it on my screen to my left, so it's less notes for me to take.
Alright.
Also, Josh,
Yes.
before the session begins proper, like I was said the other day, I'd like to give a shout out to someone in the comments.
Okay.
Do you want to do it or shall I?
Yeah, you know what? You can do it.
Alright. I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Kieron or Kieron Lee, however that name's pronounced. Sorry if I'm pronouncing their name incorrectly. Who, ever since this series began, has always been there in the comments to make sure to warn people if there are spoilers in the comments section. It always manages to do that in a very creative way each and every session. So
I always
Thanks.
look forward to seeing it because it's always funny.
I remember.
yeah, me too.
I remember one session. I think they were a little bit late, and half of the comment section is like, "Where are they?
Yes,
I
sir.
remember that. Yeah.
We need our fix.
We need our friend to tell us not to look at spoilers."
Yeah.
Even though they're telling not to look at comments, to define their thing, you'd have to be looking at comments, but logic, what's that? Darn you, Pavlov!
Ah. You're full of bad jokes.
Anyway, just thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, seriously.
Super appreciate.
Nubs.
All right, but yeah, I think we could get this started.
Let's get
So
it started.
we are all ready, and let's get this going.
Yes.
Do it.
Welcome to Avernus, the first layer of hell. Previously, the party had come together under Ryan's mysterious drow. In his return for his help to rescue Jaminia, the party must kill Loth, the spider goddess. This discussion left people very conflicted, so much that Rose decided to leave the party. The party went forth into the Outlands and traveled to the gate town of Ribcage. After appealing to the favorite 5 family to secure the entrance to the Nine Hells, they were confronted by Ribcage's governor, Quentil Perix, a tiefling of Batsu descent. He engaged the party, and it appears that they were going to lose, until Rose entered the fray and saved the party. They were all dragged down into the Nine Hells. Trials and temptations beyond their imagination now await. Rose, you find yourself walking through the forest.
I think the environment's a bit off, Josh.
I keep getting this.
Excuse. Rose.
Listen to his narration, guys. Seriously.
You find
I can barely hear him though.
Yeah.
Move a little closer to your mic, Josh.
Yeah.
Rose, you find yourself walking through the forest after leaving the party. A bright light flashes in front of you.
Oh dear.
Standing before you is your goddess, Solana. What do you do?
Oh, here it comes.
Where is your pack?
Where they're meant to be.
Where they're meant to be, she says. A lot must have happened since I've been gone because I can't seem to figure out when you suddenly acquired the omniscience to make that sort of judgment.
And whose judgment is it? They're the heroes doing what they believe is right.
Interesting. And you don't share that belief?
I do. Or I would have tried to stop them.
Yet you abandoned them. You abandoned doing something, in your own words, what you believe is right. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that.
It's what's right for them. I simply got rid of the stragglers in the pack.
Stragglers? You... Oh my me. Is that what this is about?
Oh my me.
I love the reference.
Your silence speaks volumes. I regretfully could not listen to the conversation you had with your party. An annoying cat had to relay everything. But I can get the general idea. You do not feel that you are important.
Important is relative, but not as important as they are, and certainly not more important than the mission.
The mission? What is the mission?
Saving Jaminia.
You feel as if you are not important enough to save Jaminia. Rose, what has happened to make you feel so worthless?
I've done more harm than good.
Well, there's no argument about that. You have made quite a few mistakes in your lifetime. And despite you possessing more wisdom than anyone your age should have, you still manage to harbor irrational hatred for everything, yourself included. You're quite a marvel, Rose.
Woof.
I don't hate them.
And yet you left them behind.
I left them behind because I trust them.
You trusted them enough to handle the mission, but not enough to stay with them when they begged and pleaded for you to stay?
They wanted me to stay because none of them have ever had to make the tough decision of weeding out the weak in the pack. Our interactions with Cross proved that.
Weak is relative. Tell me, is not an infant weak, or something with an injury?
Indeed.
So why do we not weed them out?
Many animals do. For their own survival, they will leave behind the injured and the slow.
And you are certain that this is the animal behavior you want to emulate?
I'm a hunter. I know when it's time to prune the pack for the sake of the rest of their survival.
And we're back to you. You feel like you do not contribute enough to the team because you make mistakes. Rose, I think there's something you need to hear, because I don't think you've accepted a truth that's been literally in front of your face all your life. You are human.
As I've constantly been reminded.
But you seem intent on trying to ignore it.
More like repress it.
Oh, so you admit to spitting directly in my face.
What? No! What?
Oh, don't try. You are a druid, sent forth to protect, preserve, and nurture life in my name. And for some reason, you want to disrespect my designs and my creations? I have to say, I feel quite insulted.
I didn't consider... I'm a foreigner. When the druids agreed to train me...
They did because I told them to. I've been at this for a long time, Rose. So much that I've seen my original pure statutes, teachings, and ideals decay and rot. My beloved druids stopped questioning and challenging. They were more concerned with their traditions, their rituals, never stopping to ponder what or why I told them to do the things I asked of them. The letter was deemed more important than the intent. The children I taught became shut in, paranoid, and self-righteous. When they called you a prig, they were speaking the truth, but they were also projecting at the same time. I'm sure you've noticed.
Can't say that I didn't.
I'm sure you've also noticed that we gods don't like to interfere too much. If we do, we not only place ourselves in grave danger, but we learned once that mortals will grow entitled if we do everything for them. Those were embarrassing times.
Oh dear.
Yes. Because of that, we leave much to random chance. In the circumstances of your birth and abandonment, I saw an opportunity. An opportunity to rattle the cages, upset the pretense, and revitalize what has been dying. You were my tool for that, Rose, and despite some missteps, you have performed your purpose admirably. You have changed minds. Look at your pack. You have started a new druid sect. Look at your apprentice. You are important. Look at your partner. I have blessed him. Alana walks over and places her hand on Rose's shoulder. You are 16, Rose. Don't judge your life as worthless when it's barely begun.
Humans don't live as long as other races. I'll be long in my grave before Phaethron shows a wrinkle on her brow.
I know. But here's the challenge with that. If you were born an elf like her, you would have been indoctrinated into the druid's rules and been just like everyone else. Funny little things, humans. They are the most impatient and feisty of races, but they are also the most resourceful, clever, and ambitious of them. That's why you are who you are. You are correct that life is temporary, but ideas, like love and friendship, those are eternal. Those are the things you should be protecting.
Would I not be better served continuing to do so in NASA?
Like I said, feisty and impatient. Do you not yet see the seeds that you have planted and grown in their minds? Do you not trust Arden?
Not as much as I trust the pack.
You trust the pack with someone they just met in a place where they will face their hardest tests yet?
Owen will keep them in line.
Like he did with Cross.
Oh, bird!
Wow! Wow!
Bird! Oh, shut it up.
Rose, I won't force you to make a decision, but I will say this. Who needs you more? Your friends, who are venturing into one of the most dangerous places in the multiverse and encountering temptations without their moral center? Or a sect of druids who are overseeing the reconstruction of a city under a wise, understanding, and intelligent idealist with a healthy respect for nature? The choice is yours.
Rose looks down at Shiloh. He looks back up at her and begins to wag his tail. And she looks back to Alana. How do I get back to them?
Alana stretches for her arm. Take my hand.
She does so.
Well, this is ominous.
We now move back to Avernus, where the party has just arrived. What do you do?
Sirs, ladies, if I may, I'd like to recommend we both get out of this pentagram, if we can, and we set up camp. I understand that many of the spellcasters in this group are dangerously low. We shouldn't risk traveling further unless we're replenished.
managed to hold on to to enough spells where I can cast Secure Shelter.
Marvelous. Secure Shelter?
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that spell.
It will create lodging for us. And it's enchanted with many magical protections.
Ah, interesting. Sorry, the only other wizard I've known lived mostly in the city. She obviously would have no need for such a spell, or at least no need to use it in my presence.
We Sylvanesti are very proud of our union with nature. We make do with what is around us. We're not so far into nature as the Kaganesti, but we know how to survive away from our cities.
I see.
All right. So you are going to cast. You have cast it.
Hold on, I need to actually click on the dang spell.
Oh, here it is.
God, you're trying to zoom out.
I just did now.
Okay, there we go. Cool. So.
Yeah, wait for the pentagram.
All right.
Let's go, folks.
Indeed.
You don't want to be standing in there.
Oh,
We have no idea what other magics or powers it
What are you
has.
doing, computer? What are you doing to me? Ah! This freaking mouse.
Didn't you want secure shelter though?
Yeah, I did. No, my mouse freaked out on me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not supposed to have this much in common with Shay. What?
All right. You cast secure shelter, but you notice that the house looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
Would you make a rock hut?
Oh boy.
Hold on. Oh.
Oh.
Well, that makes
Instead
sense.
Instead of the grassy thatch that you're used to, this one is made of brick.
Oh.
Fitting.
Indeed, I assume the house must shape itself to fit the environment.
It shapes itself from what is available around. So, it being made of stone does fit. Although I will admit I
Quite.
hoped for... Shut up, Claire. I will admit that I had hoped for perhaps something a little more wooden.
Razes looks around at the amount of fire and lava around the place. I would not recommend that.
I'm aware. I can't help it though. I've been in a library in a stone dungeon for months.
Ravis, I'm gonna have to ask you to roll a planes check knowledge.
Of course, give me a second, please. Alright, skills. I am stealing guns to make infringement.
I swear, Finn!
Sorry.
No, you're not! Stop saying you're sorry when you keep doing it!
Guys, this is serious. This is a serious session in hell. It's like you can't make jokes. Gosh.
And my first roll
That was not a joke, that was a horrible pun.
That was sarcasm.
Also, Finn, please.
Ravis.
I gotta go stand in the corner.
No, please
Ravis,
continue.
You are reminded that there is a layer of hell that does have a lot of natural that has a lot of foliage that Jalarum, Rose, and Faethur would be familiar with. But it's not for another it's specifically the third layer.
To be fair, though, there is a layer of hell that is quite heavily foliaged.
But
That being said, though, considering it's a much lower layer of hell, we should be even more pleased that Lady Emeraldson has decided to join us. I doubt any of it will be friendly to us, and having a druid on our side is invaluable to say the least.
That brings up a good.
You couldn't bring that up earlier?
Rose,
That
actually, these conversations can wait until we are inside.
Fair enough.
That's true. The cottage is the most secure place in hell right now.
all
It's
right.
unlocked.
All right, everyone, get in.
Right.
All right.
And
Moving over to the
I'll
cottage.
have
Thank you.
And now for something completely different.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, cozy.
But yes, you can still kind of hear the hellish ambience outside. But
Oh, yeah, there it is. I see it.
You can still
He's
kind of
right,
hear
it's
it,
in the
but-
jukebox.
Yeah, you can
Amber-
still- but you can still kind of hear it, but the walls have kind of drowned out a little bit, so you're pretty sure you can sleep.
That's good.
Aside from the occasional, like, unholy wail of something being tortured.
I'm gonna have good dreams tonight.
So,
Owen
created food and water for us.
Owen has created food and water.
Nom 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 nom.
I'm not hungry.
But yeah,
Alright.
it's. Oh yeah, I think this is interesting. That this is the first time that Rose is actually inside the cottage.
Yeah, well, you let me bring Shiloh inside for once, so.
I never forbade him from coming in.
Uh-huh. You did
No.
so.
I did not.
I don't think she did. I think it's just-
Shiloh and Star J were always outside.
But I never said that they couldn't come in.
There wasn't room.
I said that he probably shouldn't sleep on the bed, but that was about it.
I don't recall even that.
Well, he's in the house now. That's all that matters.
Regardless, first of all, Faye gives Rose a super tight hug.
Ah. Okay, hi. Rose gives an awkward sibling hug, pat.
And then she gives Rose a smack on the back of the head.
Oh.
I deserve that too.
You are the most obscenely stubborn human, elf, dwarf, whatever. You could give Owen a run for his money.
Thick-headed.
Owen's right there.
I'm aware. I pointed right at him.
Owen wouldn't even be giving a reaction. He'd just be there eating and staring calmly.
I am so cursing her tonight.
Someone
Man,
is
no one
having
ever
bad
had
dreams.
Yeah, it's like,
Any real
like,
beefs?
I control your dreams. Do you really want to insult me before you sleep?
It's not an insult. It's not an insult when it's true that someone is stubborn.
Wow.
Alright.
Look, she's socially awkward, okay?
So yeah, here's a question. Who wants to bunk with Ravis?
I think I would take first watch. Well, actually,
There's
you
no
should say
need-
that because no one
there's
said
no
their
need.
character.
There's no watch.
Travis, there's no need for watch in this shelter. It's the entire reason I learned this spell.
Actually, Ravis may have a moment.
Of course. Actually, before we do, considering we're discussing recent mistakes, there's something I want to say to all of you, especially to Lady Hawthorne.
Yeah.
I apologize for my attitude earlier. It is not my place to make judgments about your motives or methods. I spoke out of turn. I'm sorry. I simply... No, I have no excuse. I was out of line. You wanted to ask me something? He says to Rose.
Yes, I have a request. You
Silence.
said
I'm willing to hear it.
your word. If I become more of a detriment than a help, your word, I want you to assassinate me. I want you to execute me like you said you would.
Without question.
Very well. Thank you.
Dark.
Well, he is a drow, so that's redundant.
No, I meant dark. No, I meant.
Oh, wow!
Oh, wow!
Off character, spacious.
I meant dark
You're
on
the
Rose's
only
part.
one who could have made that joke too.
My serious hell campaign is going out the window. Thanks a lot, guys.
This is us you're talking about, Josh.
And
What
my
did
master
you think
plan
of
to
that?
sabotage season 3 is beginning perfectly.
Anyway, I have a few questions to ask personally. Rose, how did you get here? You were already gone by the time I used the plane shift scroll.
Yes, I knew you were powerful, but I did not expect you to be able to fight your way through I'm trying to remember the name. Did not expect you to be able to fight your way through all of Ribcage, nor, and I mean no offense by this, do you seem guileful enough to have been able to convince and deceive them in a matter of minutes.
You are very correct in that assessment. Yes. I had help.
Oh, I see. Always quietly helping us, aren't they?
Oh, on that note, by the way, Rose turns to Owen. Your deity is an incurable gossip.
You have no idea. I have had a closer relationship with my deity than any of you in the past century. I can't help but have a close relationship with him. He won't ever leave me alone.
I suppose that explains why you're so quiet. With a mouth like that always at your ear, what else can you do but listen?
If I may, I feel I may be missing some context here.
We can explain as soon as you answer my question to you.
And you had a question to me?
Yes. Why do you need us to kill Loth?
Ravis pauses for a bit, as if thinking of a way to best explain it to them. Then he turns to Ivan. Tell me something, Sir Winstrummer. He points to one of the food that Owen summoned. If I asked you, would you share some of your food with me?
Absolutely. I'm always willing to share my possessions with others.
And you'd do it if I was starving?
Of course.
What if I was your brother?
Yes, of course. Even if you weren't my brother, I would do it.
I'm not sure I like where this conversation's going.
I doubt you will. When I first began working with General Erdusk, I remember we were both guarding a priestess. As we were walking through the streets, our presence deterring any would-be assailants, the priestess noticed two boys, both of them barely older than toddlers, that's the word you use. Both of them barely older than toddlers. The younger one had some bread in his hand, stolen I suspect, and he offered his brother half of what he had. And you know what the priestess did when she saw that?
What did she do?
She cut off the hand of the older brother and ordered his sibling tortured unto death while he was made to watch. Even I found that a grisly sight. Yes.
Might I ask why?
Generosity.
Why?
Because generosity towards others is a sign of weakness in the eyes of Loth, and weakness is an unforgivable sin. That case was not an isolated incident. Compassion towards others is brutally punished by the High Priestess and Matriarch from a very young age. As for why the younger brother was tortured, I suspect the priestess simply did it for fun. Cruelty and hedonism are encouraged by Loth after all. In her decree, there is no greater sign of power than to be able to inflict suffering on another. What I describe to you is but a small microcosm of what my society is like. The many live in near poverty, tearing each other apart for the smallest scrap of food when they're not being used for the pleasures of the chosen few who hold power in Drow society. A sewer rat is treated with more dignity. But even those few are victims of the world, forced to constantly look over each other's shoulders, pitted against each other and again until whatever scrap of dignity or even sanity remains has been torn out. He looks directly at Faither, and you have made it clear that you are very aware of the suffering my people have inflicted upon the surface world, and I admit that reputation is well deserved. But I promise you, you don't know what cruelty is unless you've seen what the Drow do to each other. My people cannot survive like this. We're barely surviving as it is. It's bad enough that we're beset from all sides by horrors that would make the abyss itself shrink back in fear. But our own people stab each other in the back when we should stand united. The only reason we haven't wiped ourselves out yet is because of magic that allows our species to remain extremely fertile, and magic that allows our children to age rapidly beyond what they would normally be capable of. And even that magic is shown to be poisoning their minds. We should be standing united. We should be standing shoulder to shoulder against the darkness. We should be building cities and empires that make even the greatest dwarven architects bow down in awe. Our kingdom should be places of beauty and bounty and order, not this snake pit. But Loth will not allow any of that. Even as my people suffer and die, she demands the fighting continue for her amusement. She orders any destroyed, any city too large be burnt to the ground. She even outlaws the Drow rejoining the surface world. I wasn't lying when I said Urdus ideals were considered treacherous and heretical. False ego cannot abide the idea of any of her subjects having recognition that she feels threatened her own. If a Drow creates a great painting, her jealousy views it as a threat to her own beauty. If we were to create a great city or return to the surface world, she would see it as a direct challenge to her own power and success. She demands strength from the Drow, but only so long as she can keep us ground beneath her Tarsus. And that is not including those Drow that she chooses to torture for her own pleasure. It is said that the Drow are the followers of Loth, but that's the greatest lie my kind has ever told. We aren't the followers of Loth, we're her toys. He looks down and just clenches his hands. Nothing but the toys of a madwoman. He looks up. So you see, if I am to save my home, if I am to save my people, our very society must be rebuilt from the ground up. But as long as Loth is alive, any Drow who tried that will be seen as a challenge to authority and smote by her will. That's what happened to Kaurus the Undying.
I see.
Wow.
That, okay, out of character, can legit say I was not expecting anything like that.
Yeah,
That's
Shay and I discussed details, but Shay and I discussed some things, but I didn't know he did that much. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'll say this, dude.
I researched what Drow society was like. No, I don't.
I will say, though, those people can spit in the face of generosity all they want, but it takes more strength to be generous than those people will ever know.
No, they will know if we follow through on killing Loth. If we don't find another way.
I still believe that all life has value, but there's some things that need to be done, I guess.
I will remain hopeful for another way, but I've never been one to shy away from what needs to be done.
Ooh.
I hope I fully answered your question then.
I feel I owe you an apology
What for?
for behaving as I have around you. I kept my distance and I've been suspicious.
Actually, now that I think about it, I owe you an apology too. When we first spoke, I mentioned your father. I did not mean to cause offense. I simply felt that shared mockery would be a way to break the ice. I misjudged the situation.
I'm oversensitive when it comes to the conversation about him. He's caused me much pain in my life. He's the reason I ran away from home when I was barely a teenager.
Yes, also the use of your surname, it was meant to be a reference to your mother, not him. From what your uncle told me, you seem to have a better relationship with her.
I do, but I've never had a good association with the name Helegalar. If not my father, then my cousin and her little crew.
I see.
Still, I am sorry for yelling at you like I did at the time. I was exhausted, I was stressed, and my mind was not clear, and I apologize.
Apology accepted.
In all fairness, having suspicion isn't exactly unfounded. We've had a lot of betrayals and a lot of mistakes along the way, but I think we can all agree that learning to trust one another is one of the best things we can do at times like this.
If I may ask, what betrayals? The only person I know who left you was, the ranger.
Let's just say
that is a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
All right. This has not been a great day at all. I can't.
No, I suggest we all get some rest.
Yes.
And I give Faye a hug. That doesn't mean tomorrow won't be better.
Given where we are, I sincerely doubt that, my friend.
Well, doesn't hurt to have hope.
Oh no, voice, we can't hear you.
Hang on.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Were you talking the whole
Also, speaking out of character.
Were you talking?
Sorry, voice. If you were talking, we couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
I don't.
We didn't
He's
hear
not.
any of
He's
that.
not in the call. There he is.
Hello?
There we go. Now
okay.
we can hear you.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that, voice.
All
I
right.
didn't even realize.
I was gonna say in character, like Jalen kept trying to talk, but he was also really hungry and eating a lot. And Owen every time was like, "Don't talk with your mouth full."
No, but Jalorm does have a question for Ravas.
Yes.
You got us down here. I can't thank enough for having that. Now I want you to answer this one question perfectly clear. Once we complete your side quest and our main quest, do you have a way to get us back?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, it's going to take the long way. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to break character for this. Ravas would, I do not, because Josh obviously hasn't told me how we're getting back to avoid spoilers.
Yes. Yes. There is a way back, but It's like there are a lot of details that I am keeping from Shay because I do want him to be as surprised as everyone else.
Quite so.
It'd be nice if it didn't require more death, but then that's not exactly been a track record.
Faye, you do know that there are other people here.
I'm simply getting ready for bed.
Speaking of which, actually, Rose looks between Amber and Faethurn. I think I can make the assumption with Amber, given that she was able to change her form. She looks at Faethurn. You're not pregnant, are you?
I'm sorry?
I simply wish to know how many mouths we need to feed.
Amber actually pokes her head up for once.
Okay, I looked at Rose. We haven't gotten that far.
Good. And Rose looks between Jalorm and Ivan. I'd like to keep it that way until we're safely back in the mortal realm.
For crying out loud.
And
Rose,
back down again.
Rose, do you even know how long elven pregnancies last?
Admittedly, no. At least I'm not as well versed. But regardless...
2 years! Even if I were to become pregnant, we would not see the child for 2 years.
It's not about the child, it's about... There are conditions
Pregnancy can slow women down.
Exactly. Thank you. Ravis is on the same page as I am.
While in normal circumstances, what you two do for stress relief is no business of mine. As I understand, you service dwellers are a bit more protective of children's life and wouldn't be as willing to just discard it for expediency's sake. With that in mind, I would suggest avoiding creating any unnecessary burden on all of us. We are down in hell. We need to be as efficient as possible.
It has only been 2 months!
That's long enough. That's why I had to check.
You are all infuriating.
Faye, just go to bed.
Me too?
I've been holding this back the entire time.
Speaking out of character and just speaking of holding things back, it's like, you thought what I said before was dark? Rabbit didn't even get to the darkest part of his story.
Let it be, man.
Oh, let it.
Yeah.
Save it.
Save it for later.
But yeah. So you all go to sleep.
Oh, what the
And
That.
your dreams are not as pleasant as they could have been, but you sleep a little longer than you had intended. In fact, Ravis is the first one out.
Faye's out. She is seriously just out. She did spend like 2 months with barely any sleep.
All right. You hear a knock on the door.
That's not ominous.
Sorry, what? Jalomba pulls out Quick Strike.
Hey, Ravis, how do you feel about answering the door?
Just move to the.
Amber
I'll do
leaps
it.
to the front of the door first.
Hold on, Amber.
Jay, we don't need weapons immediately. Let's see who it is.
I am being cautious. I'm probably the most scariest thing in the room.
This is hell, Ivan. I don't think waiting.
Most scariest of redundant.
I am probably the scariest thing in our party. If it's a threat, they're gonna have to go through me first. I
Actually, I should go first.
You let Ravis go first.
I have him out of character. I have a
Amber
mental
doesn't
picture
listen.
now of somebody knocking on a cottage door, and then a huge dragon face answers like, "Yes."
Amber
We're not interested in
cautiously,
anything you're saying, like,
Amber cautiously opens the door.
Oh.
You see some sort of wispy humanoid figure with a panicked look in his face.
Oh.
Please, hide me!
Excuse me?
From what?
Hide me, please!
Close the door.
Oh, wrong thing. That was not what I meant to click. Ignore that. Ignore that.
Oh, you're on planes.
Gosh darn it.
It's about the same though.
I will do the same as well. Roll knowledge plus 2 if I can get the sheet would open.
I was like, I need my open mind. It's like, I'm doing something else. So I'm going to go. Oh, mine's not that good, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Oh, no, I don't think. Oh, sense motive. Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't think. Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, basically. Shutting up. Don't listen to me.
But everybody should listen to you.
Yeah.
Always.
All right.
I have trained you well.
You reckon. This is. You recognize this as a soul.
Oh, good soul or bad? Well, from sense motive, good soul or bad soul?
From the sense.
From
the sense motive check, Amber can tell that this thing is clearly panicked and feels like it's in serious danger.
Oh, Travis knows.
Well.
All right, it's like.
And so it begins.
Dude. Okay, I want to take a pause. When we were talking before we started this season, he was all like, I always seem to roll ones and really all the time in sessions, so I'm going to have such horrible luck. Meanwhile, you have absorbed
20s.
You have absorbed luck from all of us. Oh, and go touch him!
To be fair.
Crazy! Big hug for the rest of our 6.
To be fair, Josh seems to be good luck for me. And wow, that's just increasing the shipping even more.
I know. I
Anyway, Amber immediately backs away from the door. All right.
Ravis immediately realizes the situation, that this thing is running up. That Ravis peeks around the door and he sees some sort of devil creature trying to find it, and he's probably guessing that this particular soul escaped his punishment.
Let him in.
Close the door.
Wait, yeah. Close the door.
And
come on!
Well, is he in the house yet?
Let him in, and we.
Let him in and close the door. Yeah, okay.
Let him in and close the door.
Guy's face.
All right, the door.
Well, we wanted to get people's attention. We've certainly got it now.
You do, of course, realize that we have now made an enemy of that devil.
It's not like we're here to make friends. It's not like we're here to make friends, Rose.
And have you considered that this soul may be in this place for a reason?
Yes.
That they may very well deserve whatever punishment was about to be forced upon them.
Well, how do we know that unless we talk to him?
You're a strange creature, Sir Windstrummer.
It's bad to make assumptions. I know that from experience.
Let us hear what he has to say.
Did any planes checks reveal anything?
Well, it is the morning right now.
The planes revealed that he was basically this person is a soul.
Right. I'm sorry, my brain.
It is the morning right now, isn't it? We've all had a night's sleep.
Yep.
As much as a place like this can have a morning, quote unquote.
Let's have breakfast. What do you say?
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
And money don't grow on trees.
Instead of morning, it's like a good wake up.
Simula's not here anymore.
Just let's have breakfast. That's all I care about.
Thank you, Owen.
Yay, food.
How we may.
So we're just gonna ignore the soul and go to breakfast.
Well,
no, we can converse with it. If we wish to make judgments ourselves, I imagine we can hear the story of our new little friend, and we can either protect or maybe make friends with the demon if that is what Ravus wishes to do.
All right.
First of all, devil, not a demon. Second of all, I never said any such thing. I was in favor of shutting the door and leaving it to its fate.
It has a name.
And what would that name be? You never gave it.
My name is Yamtaros.
Yeah, so So, Yamtaris, what'd you do? What'd you do to end up with your soul being in here?
Yeah, and why are you running from that devil over there?
Oh, because they're attempting to push me into a pit and turn me into a monster.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
I don't want to talk about it. Listen, if you
Well, then I suppose we have no reason not to throw you out.
Listen, if you can get me out, if you can get me out of this place, I will reward you.
With what?
Listen, in my life, I had a lot of money, all right, and I had a lot of influence. So if you can,
I believe the common phrase is you can't take it with you.
Exactly, but if I can get back, then I can give it to you.
Get back? You're talking about restoring you to life?
Yes, or just letting me leave this place because I don't want to be here.
Not that I'm one to be judgmental or assume anything, but like he said, she gestures to Ravis, you were sent here for a reason and you're not telling us what that is. I, for one, cannot make a risk on my group until we know what that reason is.
And these individuals here are the personal assistants of the Queen of Direction. I doubt any money you would offer would be more than the riches they likely already have available.
Should I diplomacy check this guy and maybe convince him to tell us where he's from?
Yeah. You can go
And more like, what did he do? Because I don't want to help a murderer.
Yeah.
I suppose I will go.
He's
If
Jack
I was
the
going
Ripper!
diplomacy, if I was going diplomacy, Ravis would go intimidate. We'll go a bit of a good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop. Let's go.
Oh, I can intimidate.
well, hang on. Yeah, I think we'd eat.
Let's see.
I'm great at it.
This, and we're gonna do that.
Nice.
Good cop.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Bad
You're
cop.
good cop, I'm bad cop. All right, hold on.
All right.
Alrighty,
Good
roll.
cop, bad cop. Hold on, where's my...
Oh, yeah.
Use the first one.
Ooh.
Oh.
First one.
Looks like good cop wins.
Justice wins.
I guess this time you do catch more highs
Let's
flies with honey than vinegar.
I'm trying to find my intimidate. Where did it go? Is that in weapons? Or is that
it's under skills.
That's skills.
skills? Okay.
Skills under your now. Oh wait, no.
Oh, there it is. Found
Bug
it.
jump.
All
Bug
right.
Nope.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah, good cop wins.
Yep. In this case, he is catching. He catches more highs with honey than vinegar.
Yamtaros is looking between the stern faces of Ravis and Amber. He's looking all around, and he sees that everyone is not having it. But he looks at Ivan, and Ivan's giving him expressions like, "Come on, you gotta throw us a bone here."
Yeah, it's like
Excuse me.
there's obviously not many people who are willing to be friends here, but we need to hear the full story if we're going to help you, okay? I want you to look at me closely, look into my eyes, tell me where you're from, what you did to come here.
In me.
What she said.
I lived in Cord. I was an interrogator.
Ah.
That explains.
In other words,
you
you've tortured people for information.
Yes.
Who were you an interrogator for?
I was for the governor at the time.
Can barely hear you. What?
For the governor.
For the governor at the time.
Oh.
Ari, bad.
Ari made it funny.
Thanks, Splinter.
Well,
She made that funny.
considering the nature of this place, we can at least say that I'm sure you did not derelict your duty.
I always did it. I always did my duty. I always did what was asked of me, and
ended up here. So that's my reward.
I can respect that.
How long have you been here?
I just got here.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, do you have any regret or anything for the people that you've harmed? Was it just business, or was it pleasure for you?
It was not pleasure, it was just business.
Alright. Well, it would be unfair to judge a man by the work he does instead, and more by the person he is, and you don't seem like a cruel individual. But it's not exactly up to me as to whether or not we're going to be able to shelter you here. It would be up to everyone who occupies this place. So, does anybody have anything to say?
If you want my vote, whether he is a noble person or not, he is certainly a dutiful one. That is not our concern. We don't have time to be worrying about the fate of strangers. We have a mission to complete. You all have a mission to complete. But since even an enemy guard, a complete stranger was considered to be valuable enough to risk your mission over, I suppose I'm going to be outvoted on that front.
Amber shoves Ravis and goes to the table.
Say what?
Consider.
Amber just shoved Ravis and went to the table.
Consider, Ravis, do we want to give them another monster for their forces?
If you're expecting us to be able to take on all of the devil forces by ourselves, I'm afraid I may have, shall we say, what's the word I'm looking for? Misinformed you of the nature of our mission. This is a rescue mission, not a direct war. In other words, even if we added another force of devils, well, it's not going to make any real difference to us. Besides, more devils is actually a good thing in the grand scheme. They're one of the most important forces for keeping the demons at bay.
Well, one thing you may have not considered, Yamtaris, you said you just recently came here, but do you know anything about this place we're in right now?
You're in the... Not really. I just came here. That thing has been chasing me, and they're trying to throw me into a pit of lava filled with maggots. I saw them throw others in. When they came out, when the souls came out, they became monsters.
You okay?
Don't die.
Sorry. I can't help but react a bit whenever I hear maggots.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just going by what the module says. Okay?
I'm sorry. It's a phobia.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
I admit seeing maggots makes me nauseous too, so.
No, just baby flies.
I will kill you, Claire.
Little bubble flies.
Okay, Finn, enough!
All right.
Sorry, moving on.
Maggots approach us.
I don't want to have a panic attack in the
Pink
middle.
fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
That's gonna send me into an entirely other place. Sorry, sister.
Okay, let's get serious. Everybody put serious face on.
Shall I wear my serious hat?
Yes.
Can we please?
Guys, go.
Yeah. Oh, you've heard what he has to say. Does anybody else have anything to say?
I really don't know what to do here. I mean, he doesn't seem like a bad person, but at the same time, it's not for us to interfere with the laws that the gods have laid in place.
Have you for...
Could you, has it come to your mind that maybe he was sent here for a reason? Maybe the gods sent him here for a reason to us.
I don't trust someone who would use money to bargain for their soul.
If that is the case, you would have to distrust pretty much 90% of the humanoid population.
She distrusts
Yeah.
100%.
Welcome.
She distrusts
Hi,
100%.
Robus. My name's Rose. Have we met?
No, we
Ravis,
haven't
saying-
actually, but
Ravis saying
I
that
did
sort of
remember
thing to Rose is not an
saying something
argument.
about that.
Ravis saying that sort of thing to Rose is not an argument. She does not trust any humanoid. It took all of us several months for her to call us her pack.
Yeah. And that's another
Yes,
thing. To
I
be fair,
apologize. I heard something about that. I'd forgotten.
Yeah. I was going to say, to be fair, we were all strangers when we first met, and we didn't exactly trust each other.
Yes, but that was very different circumstances.
You hear another knock on the door.
Oh, great.
And Taros hide.
Well, I suppose you've all made your decision.
Yeah.
Amber hasn't said anything yet. She's just waiting.
Everyone on the floor. Everyone. Can I make a bluff check for the purpose of everyone outside? Because Robert quickly says, "Everyone on the floor now. Pretend to be hurt."
Do I have to roll a bluff check for that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you'd have so much trouble with bluff checks.
Yeah, but everybody else does.
Other people would.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do we need to roll bluff check for that?
Well, that depends if you're even
Wait,
going with that idea.
Would casting Veil to make it look like we're hurt make it easier?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Hang on.
Hold on.
see
We're
if I
lying to protect this man?
I'm just.
Well, if they told him to hide, I suppose that's the plan.
I have not. Whatever. It's not as though I'm the one making choices around here anyway. Why do you not click, you piece of crap?
Alright, deep breaths.
Ow.
Sorry.
Josh, should I wait to she's doing that for us to roll bluff, or should I roll it first?
No, you can roll bluff and all I do.
Oh, come on. I gotta.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, it's a success, though.
Thank you.
And as for my bluff check,
Wah wah.
Aw.
not great.
Should we all do it?
She just cast the glamour on us to look injured and weak, so...
Okay, because I was going to say whoever has the strongest bluff should probably speak for us.
Jalarum?
That's Jalarum.
Seriously? Ugh.
No, wouldn't Owen have the strongest
No,
bluff?
I'm actually stronger than his.
Really? That's impressive.
And
Slightly.
maybe he can do a little extra convincing to make it look more,
Alright.
effective.
Alright, I'm gonna...
I'm
So
taking
Rav
another
just quickly whispers to Jalaram, we tried to grab him. He tried to grab him. He fought us off and escaped.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. That's what we're going to go with.
Oh, sure.
Oh, and should I... does the veil also affect him?
Yes, it affects everyone.
Okay, there we go. That's better. 31.
Because I was going to say we can do
Okay,
invisibility
so-
if we want him to make it look like he's gone.
You open the door.
Ready? Alright. Slowly. Yeah.
All right. You see a red-skinned creature covered in chains.
Oh, what are you?
So, I am looking for a soul that escaped. I was wondering if any of you mortals have seen that one running around. He came this direction.
I'm so sorry. He came through here and we tried grabbing him and just. Oh god, my head! Ow! Oh god! Oh.
You tried to grab a soul and then. I can see why that didn't work.
Ravis just gives a glare in Jalam's direction as if now we learned that.
I'm sorry. It's my first time in the first layer of hell.
That's fair, I suppose. All right. But keep in mind, do you happen to know where he went? Which direction?
Soul. I don't know. Look at us.
We were
do you think
kind of not in a position to be watching after him. Besides, he was smart. He probably would have gone in one direction, then doubled back.
Well, if you ever happen to know where it is, go to the maggot pit and file in a report. So we can use any information we can get at this point.
Okay. Go ahead. Jeez.
If there's anything that we value, it's efficiency. The devil walks off.
Everything hurts.
Okay,
oh my gosh, Finn.
Okay, you don't. Okay, Ivan, you don't have to rub it in.
Okay.
Faye goes over to Jello and is like, "You are an amazing liar, but please don't ever make those sounds again."
I'll try not to.
Ari got it.
Yantara
Don't want to make her jealous.
Ellie!
Yantara walks up and says, "Thank you."
Our pleasure.
Hey, you're not out of the woods yet. Or out of the hellish
Don't
rock place
overthink
yet, but
Overthink it, Jalarum.
But so, can you help me out?
No.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say.
Why?
Simple. Because the direction we're going, the exit that we will be using, is going to be incredibly dangerous. We don't have the time to babysit you. We made the decision to shield you from that guard. However, any further assistance would be far, and I must insist on this, far beyond the realm of practicality. In other words, we helped you this far. The rest you must find a way to do by yourself.
But I can give you riches. I can do this. I have
riches are not important to us right now.
We're going to places you do not wish to follow, trust me. And none of your riches are going to change us from that.
What? You're just going to leave me?
You see, sir, Amber slams her fist on the table. We've already disregarded one life in a regular plane, so what's one undead life to us?
No.
Amber.
No! I am done! I am so sick of this group ignoring the fact that we just killed someone to get here.
If it makes you feel better, Amber, you didn't, I did.
We were all part of it.
Yes.
And nobody's even batting an eye. I am
Should
disgusted.
you be?
Not batting an eye, Amber.
I
Are
honestly
you
find
serious?
I find it amazing how everyone's just willing to turn a blind eye to him so quickly.
I am.
Ivan, what do you expect us to do? We're going further.
Ivan
We
said,
can't turn around now for his sake. And
Ivan
the
said-
horrors we're going to be encountering are worse than he's seen here, it seems like.
Rose, Ivan said no. I just said that the thing he was offering is not worthy of us. So, give us a better offer.
Focusing on the offer, you're not focusing on the individual right in front of us. Who cares about riches when there is someone in need in front of us?
Thank you.
Are you going to try to help every single person you come across?
Hasn't stopped me before.
Alright, Ivan, then what do you suggest we do?
Well, why don't you actually ask this person if he has anything to offer us? Instead of just assuming he would be dead weight, why don't you ask him if he has anything that he could do to help us?
Like maybe
Okay.
I'm not worried about his ability to help us. I'm worried about our ability to help him.
Well, clearly we just helped him before, so it's not like this
and
is
I
gonna...
think that's the extent to which we can do.
Okay.
What would Dominion want
so
us to do?
Exactly.
I'm asking sincerely, what would Jaminya's answer be? Because her impulse is to help everyone that we meet, but at
it's
the
also
same
righteous
time,
judgment.
You know what Jaminya would want? You know what Jaminya would want us to do?
I don't know what she would want us to do, because she has also advised practicality at times as well.
Jaminya would want us to do to these kinds of people exactly what we did to her. Take her in even when no one else would.
There is...
You saw when she was revealed her true form, she was fearful that no one would accept her for who she is, but we did. We took her in when the world wouldn't.
So, Windstrummer, I believe if you're insistent on this, I may have a deal.
All right.
A proposal.
All right.
What is it?
I wish to fight this spirit, not to the death, simply to see how well it would fare against me. If it fares well enough, then we can assume that its skill is enough that it could travel with us and not almost immediately die the first fight we encounter. If it cannot, then as much as you want to help it, it would not be safe for it to bring it with us. We would be leading it to death.
At very least,
Does that seem fair?
Can we at very least refer to him as him and not it?
Exactly. He has a name.
Very well. Then we will be able... Very well. Is that a fair proposal for him? If he's able to at least hold his own against me, we can bring him with us. He could actually be useful. If he cannot, at best, he will simply die in the first encounter. At worst, he'll be an outright liability.
I can agree to this.
Yem, what do you have to say? Yem?
Josh!
Oh, I thought. Oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah, say
yes.
Yem. I'm calling Yem. Sure.
Oh, I thought you were. Did you say DM or? Oh.
No, I said Yem.
Yen.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
He's referring to the spirit.
Okay. Yamatar says, I'm not a fighter.
You were an interrogator.
Yes.
That is not the same.
That is not the same thing.
It is far easier to do something to a restrained body than to fight a moving target. We all know what the latter is like.
Which is why I think it's safer for him that he not travel with us.
And we cannot take him back.
No.
I know a way to get out of here, but that it will involve moving forward.
Exactly.
That way,
Not
he
backwards.
gets to his pentagram. His pentagram is sealed to us. Unless, of course, there is actually a way to go through the pentagram. Speaking of character, in which case, DM.
That would be a knowledge to planes check.
I'm gonna have Ravis just in case there's a way that he'd be able to. There might be some sort of middle ground.
Oh, okay. Sorry if I don't talk much. My head is pounding like a freight train.
Aww.
You have my sympathy.
And the yelling is not helping. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's not. I know it's not your fault. I took Advil. It's not working.
I'm glad we agree on that, though.
Get some water. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
A drink of water would help.
All right.
All right. So you both are racking your brains, but outside of another plane shift scroll at this point, you're not gonna.
I know you'll be playing for it.
Outside of a plane shift spell, he's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And from what you know, that his soul does not qualify to exist on another plane.
Yeah.
So basically, he's basically stuck in
He's stuck here.
limbo, I guess.
Unless he's stuck unless someone resurrects him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's. I was thinking. It's like we'd have to resurrect him.
And
Unfortunately, we need the body for that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm sorry, Nataros.
So that's it then. This really is hell.
Wait.
What?
Ivan, let it go. This is why I'm baffled by your... No, once again, I'm speaking out of turn.
Just say it.
This is why I am baffled by both your and Amber's attitude. You need to prioritize. You need to decide who is worth saving and who is worth sacrificing. Especially in a place like this. And frankly, considering you've fought in wars, I'm amazed that you have not been able to do this from the start.
We are not soldiers, Revis.
You've done more than many soldiers.
Place never had it.
That doesn't mean that we've been trained for the mentality.
Okay. I'm back.
Because
Sorry.
we can be physically strong to a certain extent doesn't mean we can be mentally and emotionally strong. We all have our weaknesses, and you do too, and don't try to deny it.
And understand.
I don't, but... May I make a proposal then?
Yes.
Leave me to deal with the dirty work. If there comes a time when there is something that is harsher for you, that you feel that you cannot do due to your own conscience or morals or what be it, let me carry out the deed.
I'm Jia Chong.
I'm gonna have to say no to that.
And if there's an alternative that doesn't involve any dirty work, you will allow us to do it?
On one condition. That alternative won't harm us to the point of crippling us. Like I said, we need to prioritize, and remember, it is not simply us that is relying on our survival. It is my people and your queen.
If it stands in the way of our pack and the possibility to rescue Jaminia, then yes, I will allow it. But I will not take part in it.
Jeez, these are hard decisions.
I'm sorry, I cannot agree to a every situation must end in this way mentality. On a case-by-case basis, we will either use a more Ivanish approach or a more ravenous approach.
I'm just saying I hope
Ravenous!
I know, I completely did that intentionally.
Interesting term. Though I was
both possibilities.
Though I was specifically referring to when the ravenous approach. Oh God! Oh my Lord! You have any...
You got Ravis to make a funny.
I made up funny.
Ravis-ish.
No, I'm sticking with ravenous.
Ravenous. I like it.
Hashtag ravenous.
Yep.
Alright. Ravis slowly drags his hand down his face. If such an approach is called for, I was asking if it might make you feel better if I were the one to carry out that task.
Of course it's not okay. It doesn't make it any better.
It makes it easier. Why do you think I asked Ravas to be the one to finish me off if it became necessary? I don't trust...
I'm simply asking for Ravas to be open to the possibility that not every single encounter has to end in bloodshed or betrayal.
Well, as I said, I had spoken out of turn for judging for that earlier, and I am here.
Well,
I am not the leader of this group, and therefore I will follow your lead.
Thank you.
So I will keep that open. Just be aware of the risk, is all I ask.
And you be aware that just because you're the one doing these things, that doesn't make it any better. Alright?
No, Ivan,
Okay,
it
who's
also...
tearing up a bag of chips?
No, sorry, I was opening up a bag of Oreos.
And you're not sharing?
How is it shared over the computer?
You underestimate the power. You
What about
underestimate.
computer chips?
Power of the
Anywho, well, this situation has been. So, what are you going to do next?
Ravus actually suddenly curses.
Yeah.
You okay there?
Just a thought I had. We may have made a critical mistake. Actually, I made a critical mistake. The rest of you, now that I think about it, may have actually done something quite good.
What?
Huh.
First of all, thinking about it more, there's something about the nature of this place that I think I need to tell you. It's a long story though, so before that, the shorter matter is that if that soul is captured again, what's going to stop him from, either for reward or out of sheer spite, telling the guard who found him that we did, however temporary, harbor him and lie to that guard?
We did save his life.
Not exactly.
Exactly.
We merely delayed the inevitable for him.
The larger matter, first of all, something I remember being told last time I was down here is that you need to be very careful of your actions. Acts of, if you are too cruel or too obedient, it can actually risk you being immediately sent to have your soul judged by the devils of hell. You can actually warp your soul into becoming one of them.
What?
Good to know.
Yes, it is something I should have brought up earlier. Then again, if I had, there could have been a risk that you would only be doing so. I suppose the risk is even now that you would only be doing acts of good to, good and evil don't really exist, acts of kindness to avoid your fate. But I suppose that ship has sailed.
We didn't do that to avoid our fate. We did that to help someone who needed it.
Well,
Yeah, even if he didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
well, Ravs looks at Ivan. So, Winstrama, I can safely say I'm pretty sure no force in this multiverse is going to corrupt you.
I try.
Not even Asmodeus himself, or Asmodeus himself wouldn't do it.
Or
Thou shalt not blaspheme
young
in his home
Anna.
territory, y'all.
I'm just saying. Anyone, it'd be Ivan.
All at the end of that, it makes it on point.
on that matter, I believe there's some more information I need to give all of you. Namely, on both how pacts and deals work here, and also a bit about how temptation works.
Ravus takes out two journals. Who wants to read?
I've written.
And there goes Fairthorn.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I'll take the.
You know how when you're like feeding like animals that are petting them, there would be some animals that like just lunge at the food in a way that almost bites your hand. And that was like, oh, we're just grabbing those holes.
Oh,
I imagine it's like he pulled out the books, and then there was a cloud of dust, and the books were out of his hands.
Who wants to
book. I say no, Ravus. I'll take the other one.
Okay,
All right,
so he has two books: Faustian Pacts and The Psychology of Tempters.
I'll take the Tempter's one.
Scrolls, they wouldn't be large enough to be books.
Well, yeah, scrolls. Yeah.
I'll take the Tempter scroll.
So, I guess that leaves the pacts to me. That a knowledge planes that I have to roll?
Nope. It's just
I think you could just read them.
It's just in your journal now.
Also, if you're going to read those, I'd ask if you please read them aloud. It's best that everyone hears.
I do not have... Oh, there you go.
There it is. Excuse me.
You're
Well
excused.
done.
Shut up.
Pardon me.
At least it wasn't in the middle of a tense dramatic moment this time.
Yeah.
All right, Faye, you read yours first.
One of the best lies that the devils have produced is that any who perform the greatest acts of service to Bator become exempt from the normal rules, and it was so easy to sell. No dictator nor cult leader looks at a dumb lemur and thinks that's what they... Lemur.
Sorry, just got Zaboomafoo in my head. Anybody else?
Boomafoo!
Anyway, thank you very much, Shay. I almost lost my place. No dictator nor cult leader looks at a dumb lemur and thinks that's what they will become for eternity. There's a reason that pride is called the original sin. It's the easiest way to fall. A quote from our friendly dark elf here.
I'm going to say that like, in character, he just scribbled that as a bit of a note up top.
Yes.
Devils extend two types of contracts to mortals. The Pact Immediate and the Pact Elaborate. Each contract is a physical object, such as a scroll or a small lexicon bound in fine leather. Scribed within such texts is the contract itself. When a mortal signs such a contract, the devil must follow through on their promises. Otherwise, the devil will suffer demotion. Such rewards that a devil would offer include knowledge and experience, wealth and possessions, abilities, and power. The Pact Immediate. A Pact Immediate is the most common of Faustian pacts. These contracts are irrevocable unless signed under duress. This pact offers instant and numerous rewards and/or compensation for lifetime devotion to Bator, an archdevil, or simply the cause of lawful evil. The Pact Elaborate. Pacts Elaborate function more like a job board than a contract. To reap rewards, the signatory must perform acts designated by the devil to receive their reward. A wise or clever person could easily flirt with this sort of contract without losing their soul and still benefit from the rewards. That's all of it.
All right. Okay. Psychology of tempters.
And Faye's totally not looking over his shoulder.
Devils and demons are not the same. Demons are predictable. They come right at you with white-hot fangs and claws. Devils? They'll be your friend, have your back when you need it, and get you out of trouble. All they ask for in return is your soul. The psychology of devils can be summed up in a single word: ambition. Almost every devil strikes for advancement and power. Devils believe in rules and order, not for the good of society, but because they view them as the most effective tool to attain what they desire. Devils are ludicrously patient, as their eternal perspective gives them the knowledge that they have all the time in the world. They understand that the safest road to damnation is a gentle slope. No sudden turnings, no milestones. The road to hell is not only paved with good intentions, it is also paved with compromises. Devils strive for reason and logic, and that is the opposite of chaos. However, they are still creatures who are tainted with chaotic demonic influence, whether they want to admit it or not. They are spiteful, vengeful, sadistic, and prideful creatures. The infernal tongue is a perfect systematic language, so much that a devil will find it nearly impossible to resist mocking you and correcting errors in your speech. As arrogant and domineering as they strive to appear, all but the mightiest devils are driven by fear. These are the top 9 things.
We've entered into our grammar Nazis.
Sorry, what?
I said, oh heavens, we've entered into a realm of grammar Nazis.
Bite me.
These are the top 9 things that a devil fears: demotion, oblivion, their archduke, their immediate superior, their underling scheming, failure, disorder, weapons of liberty, Weapons of Anarchy. And that's it.
Wow.
Welp.
So to summarize it, those demons we fought in the war, imagine creatures just as powerful as they are, but with an intelligent and conniving mind behind that power.
Essentially.
So yes, this is Ravis throwing you the best bone he can to prepare you for the challenges ahead.
Oh, speaking of which, out of character, try and remember, even before that, Ravis was going to specifically related to his knowledge of what he's seen down here before.
Yeah, I'll ask you for checks when that happens.
Yeah, the thing is that's not on my character sheet, so I don't know what I'd be rolling.
He'd tell you situationally.
Yeah, I'll tell you situationally.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so what are you gonna do next?
What else is there to do? The shelter won't last all day, and we do need
Quite sorry. Is everyone fully replenished?
I've eaten.
Mm-hmm.
As have I.
And adjusted my stats.
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah, stats. I only added the HP because I'm a.
Oh, curses. Yes, I need to.
Yeah, melee ranged and then +1 for will save.
Yeah. So +1 to melee range and will save. And actually, I was going to say I need to lower my stats back down from last.
Yeah, that's usually what I have to do. I have to go back to. Everything needs to go back to 0.
Because right now I've got a +8 on melee.
Whoops.
All right.
So
then, okay. So
while you guys are doing that, I am going to drop you all back outside.
Yeah.
Yay! Also, with the melee, is a bonus to damage as well, or just to hit?
I think.
Just to hit, right?
Just to hit.
Yeah, just to hit.
Got it. Just wanted to make sure.
Well, then, all right. So, Ravis, where's our next destination?
All right, Ravis, roll knowledge to planes.
Okay, give me 1 second, please. I'm just further adjusting my character sheet. Yes, Bliss?
No, I'm good. Actually, I feel a lot better.
Yay!
Waterworks!
Yay! Sometimes it's the simplest solutions. Sounds like you were just mildly dehydrated.
Yep.
Scroll down too far. Claggin.
Fair warning, I'm about to crack open a soda, so that if I start burping more, that's why.
Okay.
That's fair.
Shut up, Claire.
All right.
Hey, at least I don't have my juice.
You remember that the largest landmark on Avernus, other than the maggot pit, is the Bronze Citadel.
Can we just call it the pit, please?
Okay.
The maggoting pit of maggoting maggots.
Hey, seriously.
Kidding! I'm not kidding.
Yeah, she's not kidding. Sorry for giggling.
Anywho, when that happens, so you know that the best thing here, that the biggest landmarks here are the pit and the Bronze Citadel, which the Archduke of this layer resides. And the only way to progress to the next layer is to secure his favor.
Of course.
And Ravis, of course, relays that to everyone else.
Fabulous.
Well,
Fortunately, I think we already have a way to secure his favor.
Yes, you've run into this Archduke before, and you know what he's about.
all right. What's he about?
Well, Josh, could you?
All right. You know that the Archduke is very friendly towards mortals, and I don't mean that in a I don't mean that in a bad way. Is that of all the archdevils, he treats mortals very, very kindly.
Alright.
Hmm.
Well, that's a plus. There's no quid pro quo to his style.
He's a devil. There's always a quid pro quo. However,
He doesn't know. However, Ravis is aware of that, but he doesn't know what it is.
Oh.
But we may have an offer for him already and a way to fulfill 2 bargains we have made.
I don't
If
think
we-
I like where you're going.
I don't either.
It is nothing so sinister as you may be expecting. Remember, when we were back at Ribcage, we made a deal with the families to start opening up trade. If we were to make such a proposal to the Lord of this layer, I'm thinking that would benefit him. It would benefit the people of Ribcage, and that allows us to fulfill that bargain at the same time we make an offer to him.
That's quite clever, actually.
All right. Well then.
I don't break my promises.
Admirable.
Okay, so one of those. Okay, so either Zaya, Zarkin, Alga, or Quental.
All right.
Got it.
You look off
I
you see-
don't
you see
think
off-
I
you
could
see
do
off the-
Golden
the-
Quental would do us any good.
Sorry, say that again? Josh?
You see off in the you start looking around. You see off in the distance a giant citadel.
Alright. I think that's our door.
We should still move with caution, even if he's friendlier to mortals than most devils. 1, this location is still hell, and 2, well, that's not a flattering comparison.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. You slowly but surely make your way towards the palace, and it grows, and it's a lot bigger than you thought it was. Yes, it is much bigger than you thought it was, and you come across hulking red creatures of different shapes, sizes, and appendages scurrying about the circles. They are repairing the walls, building instruments of war. A couple of them notice you, but they just give you a passing glance and return.
Faye is extremely uncomfortable.
You think I'd be used to the smell of fire, but I'm not.
Yeah, because it also smells like curdled milk.
Ugh. It smells really.
And
Amber
with the
immediately bites her
lava
tongue.
around, there's probably going to be a smell of sulfur too.
Yeah, I
so
was gonna
enjoy
say,
that.
Yeah,
sulfur
Amber
is
just
not-
immediately bites her tongue. She doesn't want to be disrespectful.